Hey you, and welcome. My name is Mike, and in this solo video, it all began with fire and snow. It was deep into the New England winter, and a house was quickly being engulfed in flames.
There's a fire! Yeah, get out!
A woman was outside a house, right, screaming for her cats, for her purse, and oh yeah, almost slipped my mind. There's another person in there, by the way. Almost forgot.
I have two cats.
Everybody's out?
Yes.
But your stepson's still inside?
Yeah, he's right here.
Okay,
yes.
come out. Come down the road. Come on.
Yeah, there was definitely another person in that house she was screaming outside of. And this guy had been there for a fair bit. And while she was more concerned about her chilly dog...
All right, my dog is shaking.
I know.
The police were actually more interested in that guy she almost forgot about. Because he would reveal a story of abuse, assault, and downright psycho hose beast behavior that had gone on for decades. Because this woman had kept her stepson locked in his bedroom for 20 years. The fire had been his final resort at escape. And the story don't end there, let me tell you that for nothing. Before we get into it, please subscribe to see new stories for the dark every single week. Now, you and I, let's give this dark-ass tale a go. It all began in the city of Waterbury, Connecticut, a city of about 100,000 people plus an itty-bitty. A city famous for... It was on February 27th, 2025, a Monday, at 9:45 PM, that a 911 call came in to the Waterbury Police Department. The call was about an active fire engulfing a house on Blake Street, a quiet neighborhood on the western side of the city. The house, your average New England colonial-style home, unremarkable, except for now, it's unforgettable.
Oh my God. It's 2 Blake Street.
What's the address?
Please hurry. It's 2 Blake Street. There's a fire.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Blake
There's
Street?
a fire. I'm trying.
Ma'am, what's
2
on
Blake
fire?
Street. The TV. I don't know. My son, a stepson, is in his room, and I don't know. He did something with the TV. I was sleeping. I fell asleep.
See flames or smoke?
Yeah, please. We need an ambulance.
Ma'am, all right, you said something's on fire and now you need an ambulance. What's going on there?
Yes, his room. The TV in his room.
Did he get injured? Is he on fire?
Yes, he's injured. Please send the ambulance.
Where is he injured?
I don't know. He's I don't know. I don't know. He's kind of passed out. He's out of it. Please.
Is the fire out, ma'am?
No, it's not. Please. I'm trying to.
I understand, ma'am. I'm trying to get information on what's going on there.
Oh my God! It's like all the power in the house is out. I don't know if it blew a fuse.
Okay, ma'am. Just get out of the house, okay?
Yes, I'm gonna call my daughter.
All right.
Oh my God.
The woman on the line sounded absolutely terrified, begging for help, saying that her stepson had done something with the TV, and he was then passed out or something. She wasn't too sure, but the situation seemed pretty up, down. It seemed pretty dire at this point. Police officers and the Waterbury Fire Department arrived swiftly on the scene, within minutes, and the active fire was worked on. As you can see, it was a chaotic scene, as most active fires do be. But as fires go, it wasn't a particularly big dog. It had begun on the 2nd floor of that home, and hadn't spread too much. Officers went around the side of the home, telling the lady to get this shit out of there. Lady, there's a frickin' fire!
There's a fire! Yeah, get out! You gotta get out! It's not safe, you have to get out!
Let me just see what we got here. We got Everybody's out or not?
No, I have no idea. We just got here when they got here.
All right.
Watch out.
You all right?
Get out of the way. Guys, get out of the way for them. So we got to get a unit to that side.
Yeah, so why don't you bring your car over on that side?
Just go all the way around. We're not going to be able to get through here.
Soon the caller's daughter and her daughter's boyfriend arrived. Are you firefighters?
Who are you? That's your wife?
No, my wife's in the car. That's the mother-in-law.
Oh, fuck. That's your mom? Yeah, okay. All right, listen, we gotta get you guys off the road. Go to the other side over there.
The other side?
Yeah, because we're gonna have trucks coming down, so you gotta move. Okay? So when you get there, you need to stay as far as you can, and we'll bring her over when we're done.
The officer recording body cam made it to the front door, and there was the frantic lady who had dialed 911. And this is where we meet 57-year-old Kimberly Sullivan, and it was her house on fire. She was outside. She was fine. She was grand. She was more worried about her 2 cats and the little fella she had in her arms. And then, oh, yeah, slipped my mind. You know, my stepson is in there, actually. Would you mind getting him out? Forgot about that. But make sure you get the cats, too.
Come down, come down.
Come on, down.
Who else is in the house? Who else is in here? Do you live
My
here?
stepson is in here.
How many other
Help
people?
him out.
Listen,
That's
you
it.
have
I
to
have 2 cats.
Everybody's out?
Yes.
But your stepson's still inside?
Yeah, he's right here.
Okay,
yes.
come out. Come down the road. Come on, come on.
All right, here he is. All right, my dog is shaking.
I know, come down here.
My
80
dog
seconds
is,
right here.
I
Come
know
on.
my dog.
I know, come on.
I'm coming.
You're seeing it.
Oh yeah, my purse and my shit is in there too. Sure, don't worry about stepson, he'd be grand. She was pacing the snow-covered lawn in slippers, her hair wild, her voice frantic. And she wasn't shouting about smoke or flames or any kind of danger. She clutched a small dog in her arms like a lifeline, tears streaming down her cheeks, breath fogging in the cold.
In this room
You can't
right
go
here.
back inside. You cannot go back inside. Here, come. You cannot go back inside right now. The house is on fire. You're not going back in. All right? We're gonna move
Can
you.
she come down here? Can I go?
Oh, your daughter's the one in that car?
Yes.
She's gonna be over there for you. Okay? I told her to go to the park because we have to get everybody in.
How am I going to go?
You're gonna walk. We'll walk with you. Okay? Don't worry. I just told her to go to the park and wait for you. Okay? Where's the park?
Her son's in the back, semi-responsive. Make sure you get her in the car to sleep.
Yeah, nobody else is in the house, right? Her family's over
My
there.
cats, my 2 cats.
Okay. Okay. Her family's over there, so I told her to go over there with her.
As the officer tried to escort Kimberly away from the home, you can see a firefighter carrying a person away, her stepson. And the guy, pretty small. The firefighter would later say it was like carrying nothing at all. Like lifting a bag of feathers. Small, limp, motionless. He had been found in the bathroom on the 1st floor of the home. And when firefighters went in and they found him, they thought he was a kid. But when they brought him into the back of the ambulance, that's when they noticed, oh, he's actually quite a bit older. Just rake thin, right? And it was then that they noticed a smell, a certain smell. Not a good smell. This guy stank to high heavens. It was like he hadn't even heard of the concept of a shower. And when this guy finally spoke up in the back of the ambulance, he apologized. He began apologizing to the EMTs and the firefighters. He was aware of how he smelt. He began telling them it had been over a year since he had been permitted to have a shower. That's when the EMTs looked at each other and quietly realized this wasn't just a house fire. This was something much, much darker. Folks, it's the holiday time. Yippee! But also like, ugh, gifts and presents. I mean, what the heck do you buy people? I have no idea. Something you gotta know about me is I am a terrible, terrible gift giver. But what's something that everybody can use and people will appreciate no matter what? It's a tough one. Psych, I got just the gift. And it's Raycon's Everyday Earbud Classics. This whole video is sponsored Raycon. You know they always bring the best. They're just awesome. I love that I can play my music and block out everything around me. It's perfect for the gym, yeah right, this guy, or for, you know, when I'm just wandering, walking around. And guess what? Right now they are up to 20% off, so get them while you can. You know I love me my Raycon earbuds, and they just keep getting better and better. I mean, look at them, pretty sweet. And they sound even sweeter, more class for your classics. Raycon's everyday earbud classics are packed with upgrades. They've got active noise cancellation, multi-point connectivity, so you can pair with 2 devices at once, and a super comfortable ergonomic design that stays put no matter what you're doing. It's got 8 hours of battery time, 32 hours of battery, 3 sound modes for your pleasure, but for me it's gotta be the active noise cancellation. It's mandatory when I'm working on these videos, when I'm doing my little clackety scribbling, typing. They're great for listening to podcasts, watching your favorite movies, listening to your tunes, whatever you're doing. And their audio quality, it rivals all of the big brands, but half the price. I even use them to watch the game while I'm watching the game. Add in over 3 million happy customers and a 30-day happiness guarantee, there is zero reason you should be overpaying. And they come in all sorts of colors and casings so you can get something that fits your style, because I know how stylish you are. And Raycon, they're here to hook you up. The Everyday Earbuds Classics are here for the holiday season. Raycon audio products are up to 20% off this holiday. Just click the link in the description or go to buyraycon.com/chapter to save on Raycon audio products worldwide. Order by December 15th to guarantee delivery by Christmas, because we all know great gifts shouldn't show up late. Once again, go to buyraycon.com/chapter to save on Raycon audio products site-wide. Order by December 15th to guarantee delivery by Christmas. Thank you so much to Raycon for sponsoring this whole video. Please give them a go. Great Christmas present. Now let's get back to it.
Since he was 11, he's 30. Since he hasn't had a shower in over a year. So dirt all over him. Am I going here? What's the deal?
Yeah, I guess so. And I guess Martin and I's following you down.
All right, tell him to meet me.
Okay. I'll tell Martin.
All right, we're good to go.
This guy, and his name hasn't been released for privacy reasons, as you can imagine. I'm not gonna use it, obviously. I'll call him John Sullivan. John began to tell a story of what was going on in that house. And it wasn't peaches and cream, let me tell you that. He was 32 years of age, and he had spent the vast majority of his life locked up in that house by his dad and his stepmom, Kimberly Sullivan.
I have 2 cats.
The fire in that house uncovered a hell of a dark secret in that unassuming Waterbury home. You know, when all this happened, like the fire broke out, dead of winter, so everything's pretty barren. But when you look at the house on Google Street View, during summertime, it sort of looks like the house parents tell kids to stay away from. Overgrown, unkempt, especially when compared to the other houses on the street. Turns out there was a good reason for all that. And as the firefighters, they got the blaze under control, officers, they made their way into that house. The fire had begun on the 2nd story, and it made shite of multiple rooms up there. Heavy flame, smoke, and water damage. But they also noticed that, although the fire and, the efforts to put it out had done a number on the place, that number was +1. What I mean by that is the house was a shithole before the fire. The flames probably burnt away layers of mold, garbage, and cleansed the house. I mean, look at this place. Very modern art. Junk and ale shite all over the place. Yeah, there was smoke and flame damage, water dripping through the ceiling. But the deeper they went, the more obvious it became. This place had been a disaster long before the fire. Then responders found something that made the hair on the back of their necks stand up. Because the worst thing about the home wasn't the trash, it was the hardware. Because also, they noticed locks. Heavy, reinforced, rusting around the screws, locks. Locks on the door to the room where it seems like the fire started in the first place. Locks on the outside of the door. Locks meant to keep someone in. While officers went room by room documenting the scene and the house of horrors at 2 Blake Street, others were in the back of the ambulance talking to John as the ambulance made its way to St. Mary's Hospital. Now John, he was largely untouched by the fire, but he needed to be treated for smoke inhalation. And it was between deep breaths of oxygen that he told the story of what had been going on in that house. And, horrific. Horrific. In the ambulance heading towards St. Mary's Hospital, John drifted in and out of consciousness. Smoke inhalation had nearly taken him down, and his body was already dangerously fragile. Even through masks and smoke, it was overwhelming. A sour, almost decomposing odor, the kind of scent your brain immediately recognizes as human neglect. Long-term, profound, devastating neglect. When the EMT cut his shirt open to check his breathing, his ribs looked like they were trying to break free from the skin. Every bone was visible. His limbs were thin, almost brittle. His hair stuck together in clumps. His skin had a grey tint, something you only ever see in severe malnutrition cases. John was extremely emaciated. His hair was all matted and unkempt. His teeth were all rotted out. He told officers that he had intentionally started the fire in his bedroom. He had used hand sanitizer, a lighter, and paper. And he had started that fire as his, final attempt towards freedom. He had been locked in that house for almost his entire life. Locked in his bedroom ever since he was 12 years of age. He was now 32 years of age. John Sullivan soon passed out as his condition from the smoke worsened. He would in fact be listed as critical when he got to the hospital.
You want me to hang by stepmom for right now or what?
What?
You want me to hang by stepmom for right now? Or?
Yeah, get her,
I'm trying to find out where the hell she is. Because I just got
she's
here.
waiting in a car down there.
Okay.
Get her,
all of her info and everything?
we already got all of her info. I just don't want her to fucking go anywhere. We don't have enough to really detain her.
Yeah.
In the meantime, detectives, they thought, let's have a quick one with old Kim Sullivan, Kim Sully over here. Kim, riddle me this. Your stepson says he's been locked in the bedroom for 20 odd years. What's the crack with that? The detective, a police fire investigator, spoke briefly with Kimberly as she sat in the back of her daughter's car. She sat there trembling, but it wasn't the cold. Her trembling wasn't for fear of the house fire, fear for her stepson. It was fear for herself. Her secret had finally been revealed.
Hello, are you Kimberly? Hi, I'm Detective Pesh. I investigate all the fires that happen in the city, so I just wanted to get an idea of what you know or what happened.
He woke up and the TV was in flames.
Okay. Where was he when he said that to you?
He was coming out of his room.
He was coming out of his room?
Yeah. I guess he fell asleep, and I guess I don't know, smelled the smoke.
So take me right to the beginning of when you know there's a fire, or there's smoke.
I smelled it.
Okay, where were you?
It's bad. I was screaming for him. I was screaming it, for him, and I was trying to go into the room, but there were just flames. So he came out of the room. He actually woke up. He came out of the room.
She said she had been asleep, didn't know what happened, that John had started yelling, and then she saw the fire. He wasn't diagnosed with any mental or physical conditions, as John's father, who had passed away, had been against using doctors. The detective then asked Kimberly, was he locked in the bedroom by any chance? No, he had free reign of the house, sure. He loved it in there. He was happy as a pig and shit.
Was the door locked on his room or no?
No.
Okay, is it normally locked?
No.
Okay, it's normally open?
No. Yeah.
And he has free reign to go out of there whenever he wants?
Yeah.
Okay. Does he have any mental challenges or anything?
Now, after that brief discussion, Kimberly Sullivan refused to speak to the police any further, only through her attorney. But in the meantime, John, he was in hospital, and he had no medical records. Going through his history, they couldn't find him ever having been treated by a doctor before. But when they were brought in, the doctors and nurses, they could only gasp at seeing his condition. He had what's called wasting syndrome, which is he was near starvation. He had a body mass index of 11. Most adults are between 18 and 25. A body mass index below 16 is starvation, below 13 is life-threatening. The condition he was in, so malnourished, as the doctors and nurses were treating him for the smoke inhalation, they also had to be careful about nourishing his malnourished body. He would have what's called refeeding syndrome. Refeeding syndrome is when somebody is severely malnourished. Giving them food can be very dangerous because the body gets so used to not having food, it can't properly absorb nutrients when it finally gets food. So you can literally eat yourself to death if you've been in near starvation for an extended period. That's literally what happened to Holocaust survivors. He was 5'9", weighed less than 70 pounds, and it was written about him. This is a quote from the report. His legs are bowed, and it appears that he is unable to stand up straight. His skin color appears to be graying. His total physical condition resembles one who would be at a point at the end of their life. As somebody also with gray skin, I take that personally, but it would be a few days before John would be able to tell the story properly. Once he recovered enough, it took about 4 days, he was able to tell the police more about what was going on in the house, and it was as dark and horrifying as it is tragic. This next part is all taken from the police affidavit. The story he told was almost unbelievable. It must have felt like a ghost tell the story of how he disappeared. John Sullivan said that since his earliest memories, since about 3 years of age, all he remembers is being locked in his bedroom. John Sullivan was the son of Craig Sullivan and Tracy Valorant. Tracy gave up custody of John when he was an infant, as she believed he would be better off with his dad. She was wrong about that one. His dad, Craig, worked in shipping at Gem Manufacturing, and he would later marry Kimberly Sullivan, who worked at a Macy's perfume counter. And Craig and Kimberly would later go on to have 2 girls together. They seemed to grow up fine. I'm not sure why John was singled out, why he was subject to what he was subjected to. The 2 girls went to school, had friends, but John wasn't allowed to be seen by anyone. John was locked up more or less his entire life. He would say that when he was a child, he'd be kept locked up all day, and then at night he would sneak downstairs for food and for water. When his parents learned about this, he would be locked back up, only given 2 cups of water a day, and at times he would have to drink from the toilet. He was sent to school, but so many complaints were made that his parents would eventually pull him out of school and claim to be homeschooling him. And I don't mean complaints about his behavior, I mean complaints about the condition he was in. He would come in as a kid, going to elementary school, starving. He would beg his classmates for food. He would steal. He would go through the garbage at the school trying to get food. One time the principal from that school came in and caught John drinking from the flushing urinal. He would come to school dirty and disheveled. Classmates, teachers, many times they called the Waterbury police, they called the Connecticut Department of Children and Families to investigate what is going on with this kid. He's in tragic condition. But of course, when the department went and had a go, sure, he's grand. He likes being that way. Of course, they would come to the house, they would speak to John, and he would be coached by his dad and his stepmom that everything's gravy. The last recorded visit to check on John Sullivan was in 2005. His dad would actually make calls to the Waterbury Police Department about harassment due to the amount of times the Department of Children were called on him. That was when they pulled young John out of school, claiming they were homeschooling him. Yeah, right. And after that, it all went quiet. Nothing stirred outside the house on Blake Street after that, and no one heard from John again. The neighbors on the street had no idea what was going on inside the house. Many neighbors didn't even know John existed. They thought Craig and Kimberly just had 2 girls. The details shifted depending on who you asked, but the pattern always seemed to be the same. Fewer visits, fewer phone calls, fewer sightings of John outside the house. His next door neighbor, who went to the same elementary school, said he last saw him standing on the porch, saying he was being homeschooled, until eventually there was no sightings at all. Neighbors assumed the kid must have moved away. Relatives assumed he was living with his mother. And the world just sort of forgot he existed. From age 12 onward, John lived in that bedroom like it was his whole world. When his parents pulled him out of school when he was 12 years of age, that was the last time he ever left the house. He was kept locked in his room, only let out for 1 hour in the mornings, during which time he would do chores around the home. he was fed 2 sandwiches a day, but as the years went by, the sandwiches got less and less. And that was along with 2 small water bottles. This was all he knew. And when asked why he never told anybody, why he never tried to get help, he said he was scared of being locked down even further, fed even less food. He'd been mentally broken by his dad and stepmom. John would say that one time when he was doing chores around the house, he found a gun, which actually made him more scared. Kimberly once said to him, under pain of death, no one is to see him. And Kimberly would of course say, oh, I'll let you out of your bedroom eventually. I just need to trust you first. Of course, that never happened. His bedroom door had been modified with a lock from the outside. His window had been retrofitted with ventilation tubing. His diet consisted of small portions of food left at the door or slid under it. He had no access to a shower, no access to a stove, no doctor visits, no clean clothes, no communication, no life. He did have a small black and white TV in the room for a time, but as technology evolved, that stopped working. So what did he do all day? He watched the walls. Serial killers in prison aren't treated this inhumanely. And he didn't even understand why. No one does. And from John's perspective, he wasn't locked away as punishment. He was locked away because he was told that's where he belonged. That's the thing about long-term isolation. If somebody tells you the same lie enough times, you don't just believe it, you internalize it. Craig and Kim, meanwhile, they never got Wi-Fi. They ignored knocks from relatives. They kept the curtains drawn. They refused to let neighbors inside for any reason. Never allowed John access to the outside world. And time passed with nothing to mark it. Why they did this to John? Psycho, crazy, insane, fucking, that, whatever that is. So he was kept inside his bedroom 23 hours a day. There was no toilet in his bedroom, so to pee, he peed into a bottle, and then he would funnel out the pee through this little hole in the window, because the window was locked, because of course it was. And he would funnel it out through these interconnected straws out the window. To poop, he'd have a newspaper and just squat over it, then roll the newspaper up and take it out to the kitchen garbage when he was let out for that 1 hour in the morning. He did escape the room briefly one time by breaking a panel in the door, but when Kimberly found him, she beat him. Though John would say nothing sexual, though, ever happened. Wasn't that sort of kidnapping and imprisonment just the other kind of kidnapping and imprisonment? I think it's pretty clear that old Kimmy treated her dog and cats better than she treated her stepson. And this is right up there with those other stories of trapped kids we hear about. Only John was a grown-ass man, just beaten down to the point where he remained a child for decades, kept inside for 20 years. It's hard to understand why she even kept him. He was a grown-up, should have been out having a life of his own family. Was it pure control that Kimberly kept him inside, or was it like after they'd taken him out at school when he was 12 and they just kept him inside? The secret just went on and on for so long, they didn't know any other way. Like, you'll notice Kim and Craig, they had 2 biological children, 2 girls, John's half-sisters. Kim treated the kid who wasn't hers worse than a dog. Talk evil stepmom. And as I said, his half-sisters, the 2 girls Craig and Kimberly had together, they had, like, from scarce records that we have so far, perfectly normal childhoods. They were out and about with their friends. They went to the cinema, to the movie theater. They did events. Those 2 girls, completely normal. Why John was kept so separate, Lord knows. Now, their friends, of course, were not allowed into the house. And if anybody, like any stranger or anybody, did ever come to the Sullivan house, John was told, don't make a sound. This went on for 20 years. And so you gotta wonder, why the 2 girls, his 2 half-sisters, never said anything. Ever. What's that about? Did they not think that maybe, oh, we have a half-brother who's like locked up in his bedroom all the time? It's kind of weird, isn't it? Nah, don't worry about it. Gotta wonder what their story is. Does it smell like poo-poo? And so the years passed. John was given 3 or 4 books a year and kept track of the passage of time from the radio outside his bedroom. By the time of 2025, he hadn't had a shower in a year, a haircut in 3 years, was never allowed to see a doctor, was only ever given aspirin for any sort of pain issue. His teeth rotted out. Sometimes they would break whenever he ate whatever meager sandwich he was given. His dad, Craig, did pass away in January 2024, so about a year before his escape, seemingly from a long illness, and he had been wheelchair bound from a stroke for quite a bit of time. Then it was just the two of them, John and Kimberly. And it was then, in February 2025, he finally set that fire. He would say he didn't know what made him make that choice. He simply did. Nothing set him off. He believed this would either set him free or kill him. Either is better than continuing the way it was continuing. He started the fire by the door, and he knew he had to wait for the fire to get big enough that Kimberly wouldn't be able to put it out. When it did, that's when he began banging on his locked door, shouting, waking up Kimberly, who opened the locked door. Ah, there's a fire. She dialed 911. He then finally left that room but collapsed at the top of the stairs. Kimberly got him up, brought him downstairs before the firefighters and police arrived, brought him downstairs to the bathroom on the first floor, began to wash his face because she didn't want the firefighters or police to see the condition she had kept him in. She was trying to cover this all up. He then fell to the ground again in the bathroom, Kimberly demanding he get up, but he just didn't move because he wanted to be found by the firefighters. And the rest is the rest.
There's a fire! Yeah, get out! You gotta get out!
Yeah, how many other people?
Listen, that's it. I have 2 cats.
Everybody's out?
Yes.
But your stepson's still inside?
Yeah, he's right here.
Okay,
yes,
come out. Come down the road. Come on, come on.
All right, here he is. All right, my dog is shaking.
I know. Come down here.
Was the door locked on his room or no?
No.
Okay, is it normally locked?
No.
Okay, it's normally open?
No. Yeah.
And he has free reign to go out of there whenever he wants?
Going through the house, the police were able to back all of this up, confirmed it all. I mean, just looking at him and his charts, he ain't lying. And interviewing detectives would say, you know, when they were speaking to him, he told them all the story over about 2 hours. He went through 20 years. He told 20 years in 2 hours, which, I mean, he didn't do a lot in those 20 years, tragically. I mean, they said he couldn't even use an iPad. He couldn't even use a microwave. He could barely do anything, basically. He didn't know anything about the world. And it's hard to believe nobody found him earlier. Like, neighbors would say they didn't know he existed. Friends would say they didn't even have a clue. Like, if he didn't start that fire, would he have ever been found?
And did you know of anything, hear of anything next door?
Nope.
Did you ever see the woman, or you obviously never saw the kid?
I obviously saw the woman, you know, coming in passing, but when I was asked about a son, I was shocked. I never even heard of or knew that there was a son until my stepdaughter told me the story about when she was sitting on the swing and she saw a little boy up in the window, or what she thought was a little boy. It turns out, if that was 15 years ago, so he must have been about 22 at the time. He just appeared to be a little boy, I guess, to her.
His half-sister on his biological mom's side. She would try to find him, but it never went anywhere. It was like he didn't exist. His uncle, his dad's brother, Kurt, he would also try to find, you know, where is John? What happened? Where is my nephew? But he even hired a private detective at one stage, but it went nowhere. Kurt and Craig were brothers. They used to be close, but they drifted apart once Craig married Kimberly. And Kurt, he always wondered about young John because he saw that how controlling Kimberly was over the boy. She never stopped when he was a man either.
Harrowing accusations out of Waterbury, Connecticut this week. A woman is accused of holding her stepson captive in her home for more than 20 years.
The Waterbury mayor and the chief of police both spoke at today's press conference, and they can both agree that this is a horrifying situation. And this man now has mental and health issues he has to heal from.
Man's unimaginable suffering over the course of 2 decades is just a reminder of the darkness that does exist in our world. Our hearts and our prayers go out to him.
A show of support from Mayor Paul Penarewski Jr. as he talked about the case of a 32-year-old man held in captivity. That man told police he was trapped in a house on Blake Street where his stepmother, Kimberly Sullivan, kept him locked up in a room. Police found out about this when firefighters responded to a fire at their house on February 17th.
There's an adult that was 5'9" and 68 pounds. There's some apparent orthopedic issues. The room was very small.
Police Chief Fernando Spagnolo said officers launched an investigation and they arrested Sullivan on Wednesday. In the arrest warrant, the man told police there was a lock on the outside of his bedroom door.
That room did have exterior locks on it and a number of different styles of exterior locks. As was explained during an interview with the victim throughout the years, it appeared that the locks increased in security levels as time progressed.
Her attorney, Ioannis Kaloidis, urges people not to jump to conclusions despite the allegations.
All we have right now are allegations. And yes, sometimes allegations look bad, but that's why we have a process. And that's why we have a defense. And we intend to mount one in this case. And we intend to push back on all the allegations that have been made against her.
Shay Baker, his current next-door neighbor, remembers seeing him years ago.
I was just in the backyard playing, and I looked up and saw a boy, and I waved at him. He smiled and waved back, and I hadn't seen him in the house or anywhere around since. So I just figured, was family visiting? Is it somebody that I made up? There was just no sign of him being there outside of that day.
Neighbors say they wish they could have done something sooner.
I've been out here, I don't know how many times, with the dogs, cutting grass. If he would have just tapped on the window and said, "Help me," I could have helped him.
On March 12th, Kimberly was arrested. She was charged with kidnapping, assault, and cruelty to persons, among other charges. She posted bail, $300,000, and so is out awaiting trial.
I introduced myself to the victim, explained who I was. His first question in this sphere is, why is she out walking around when I was locked up in a room for 20 years?
Kimberly would later speak through her lawyer, saying it was all Craig who is dead. He was in control, it's not Kimberly's fault, though John would say she treated him worse after his dad died.
Is it your stance that her husband, now late husband, was the person who kept him in the room for 20 years? Do you think he was to blame for all these years?
So right there, respectfully, your question assumes that he was in fact kept in a room for 20 years. We do not believe that is the case. My client is adamant. She has done nothing wrong, and this man was not held in a room for 20 years.
Okay. So you're saying that the victim's allegations are just plain wrong, not that his blame was wrong?
We are saying that the accuser's claims are not true.
Okay.
My client is adamant she did not do the things that her accuser is claiming.
Any message to people, especially those online who've, made snap judgments? You've talked about already assuming that she's guilty. Any message to those folks?
Look, the rush to judgment is wrong. They don't have all the facts. They've assumed a lot of things and they've run with them. Also, in the online community, the burden has been shifted to Kimberly. And that's not how things work. Whether your online followers care to believe it or not, she is not guilty of any crime.
Her lawyer, by the shit he would commit with, it's gas. He would say, John hasn't showered in a year. Well, it's not up to Kimberly to shower a 30-year-old man. I mean, come on now. What do you expect?
We've gotten records. His weight has been an issue since he was a child.
If he wanted to leave, sure, he could have at any time. You won't find any chains or handcuffs in the house.
What's more important is what's not in those photos. Any locked doors, any chains, any handcuffs, any bars, any evidence of restraint.
Yes, there was a lock on the door, but most doors have locks, duh. Sure, he liked locks. Sure, he loved shitting in the newspapers. It was his idea.
Only person who's saying that they were locked anywhere is the accuser. And the only evidence of it is their word.
Kimberly, of course, pleading not guilty to locking up her stepson for 20 years. She is out and about currently with a GPS ankle monitor. Friends of hers would say in the 21 plus years they've known her, she never mentioned a stepson and never allowed anyone inside her house. Now this case, the Sullivan kidnapping case, it hasn't gone to trial. It's still in the pre-trial and the motions and all of that slowly inching, and there's been no trial date set. So that was in February 2025. And so all of this was coming out over the course of this last year. And then, just as John, you know, he was taken away, he was treated in a hospital, he was taken into care, just as he started to feel safe and secure after 20 years of, I mean, I think what can only be described as torture from his alleged batshit insane headbanger of a mom, it got worse. On Halloween, October 31st, 2025, talk about a horror, a judge ruled that Kim and her defense will get access to her stepson's new alias and addresses for purposes related to the case. So now Kimberly knows where he lives.
This is no different than a domestic violence victim being at a safe haven home. He certainly wouldn't disclose the address of a safe haven home to a domestic violence abuser, and that's the case, the state's position that this is.
And he lives in fear, as you can imagine. His real name and where he is are kept private, and he is recuperating, though how you recuperate after something like this, I don't know. 20 years gone, severe malnutrition, the mental PTSD is terrifying. All his attorneys have said is that he is receiving appropriate support, and that's it. He has since released a statement. Please call me S. This is not the name given to me by my parents when I was born. I am choosing a new name for myself, and I will use that name as I reclaim control over my life and my future. My name is my choice, and it is the first of many choices I will make for myself now that I am free. I am a survivor of more than 20 years of captivity and domestic abuse. I was held prisoner in my home from the time I was taken out of 4th grade until 2 months ago, when I purposely set the fire that helped set me free. I am speaking out today to begin the process of reclaiming my life and have my say in how my story is told. I ask everyone involved in my story to fully cooperate with the authorities who are helping me seek justice for these crimes. I also ask the public and the media to respect those investigations and my privacy as this process plays out. This isn't just a story, it's my life. Kim Sullivan is due back in court the week before Christmas for another hearing. No idea of when the trial, and as you can imagine, when the trial begins, a lot more will come out. Maybe why? Why should this? Good to know. But who knows if there will even be a trial? Maybe she will take a plea deal, you know, and will just plead guilty to this. Though if that happened, I think that would be extremely unfair. That would definitely be another tragedy in this already tragic case, because Kimberly Sullivan should be made to go through what she allegedly made John S. go through, being locked up in a cage for decades. Some stories stay with you, not because of the brutality, though this one has plenty, but because of the silence that follows. That house, it still stands at 2 Blake Street, all boarded up and empty. Though the emptiness is loud, telling of the horrors done in that home, the evil committed. And even if Kimberly does ever speak about a motive, there is no motive that can justify what was done or why it was done. And that'll do it for this old one. Thank you so much for watching, folks. I really appreciate you taking the time out of your day to watch this old video. The next video will be up whenever it's up, but please give it a go. And until then, please take care of each other and yourselves. Because I love you. Mike out.